Emily here. Thank you so much for joining me for this full-length-ish Pilates Reformer class. We are going to make this a shorter class than usual. I'm going to be moving quickly, there are going to be a lot less reps, and I'm not going to be providing as many modifications in between the exercises. So I have 3 to 4 springs on my machine for footwork. On my machine, that's 1 medium and 3 heavies. My heavies are greens, my medium is a red. I have my headrest up. I have my double loops on for today's class. Let's go ahead and come onto our backs. I'm going to find a nice neutral spine. I'm going to separate my heels on the foot bar so I can press into the foot bar in a moment, just not yet. I'm keep staying in at the bumper by engaging my hamstrings, and my heels are on the foot bar. Woo! I'm going to find a nice neutral spine. I'm going to start by imprinting my spine, releasing the imprint, and tilting my tail back if I'd like to. Now I come back to neutral. I'm going to imprint my spine, just placing every vertebra on the mat, find a neutral, and tilt my spine back. One more imprint. Find a nice breath with this. Try not to let your knees go out to the side or knock in. Now we're going to lift up just to the back of the tailbone. So just hover your tailbone off, or the back of your hips, I'm sorry. Now make sure you're using your hamstrings to keep the carriage out of the bumper. Back to neutral and tilt. Come back to neutral. Articulate up to the backs of your hips. It's very small. And tilt. One more. Now come back to neutral. Take your fingers and find the bottom of your 12th rib. It's much lower than you think. To articulate up to a bridge to your 12th rib, you do not need to lower your headrest. But if you're going to a higher bridge, lower your headrest now. For the beginning of the class, because we're going to be bridging in a moment, we're just going to imprint our spine, lift up to the back of the hips, find our 12th rib. My tail's barely hovering off. Come back to the backs of the ribs, down to the imprint, neutral, and tilt. Again, we're going to go neutral, imprint, lift to the backs of the hips, lift to the 12th rib. So we're still finding every part of the movement so far. We've gone ahead and just leveled up, leveled up, leveled up. I'm not lifting past those 12th ribs, so my headrest is fine. And I'm going to come back down. Now, from here, I'm going to press out, away from the foot bar, coming up into a parallel heel position, and back in, and press out, and in, and inhale out, and exhale in. Now, press out, pause, and back in. Press out, pause, and back in. Here's 5, 6. We're going to be doing all of our footwork on our heels first, and then we're going to be going to our toes. Inhale out, exhale in. One more, and exhale in. Now, bring your heels wide to the outside of the foot bar. Rotate the femur in the hip socket. Come to a wide Pilates seat. Your legs should not be flopping out to the side. You need to retain some integrity on your inner thighs. You press out. Think of tweezing your sit bones at the top before resisting the carriage back in. You're inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, exhale. I'm assuming that everyone that's taken this class is familiar with Pilates already. So we don't need a lot of cues on neutral spine or correct body position and footwork, especially if we're trying to go ahead and hammer through the class and hit all the positions. Make sure we get a nice workout in. And in. One more, and then we're going to our toes, guys, okay? Now, keeping the Pilates feet position, slide down your toes and slide your heels in at the center. We're going to make sure that our knees are tracking over our big toe, and our heels are squeezed together, our toes are apart. We're wrapping our toes over the foot bar, right? We're using them to hold on to the foot bar almost. We're going to press it out and resist it back in. We're in a Pilates feet position. Here's 3, 4, 5, good. Still tweeze the sits bones. 7, 8, 9, and 10, and come back in. Now, bring your heels up even higher, and bring that Pilates feet wide to the outside. So it's just like the second position that we did, but instead of being on the heels, we're on the balls of the feet. And we're going to press it out, tweeze the sits bones, resist it back in, and inhale. So for most of the class, we'll be doing a series of 5 or 6 on each exercise. On the curls, we'll be doing three sets each. But we'll go over that when we get there, right? Good. Here's 9 and 10. Maintaining that super high heel position, squeeze your legs into the center, bring everything to parallel. So we're squeezing our thighs, calves, inner aspects of our feet, and press it out on the inhale, and resist it back in. This is the heaviest that your spring tension will be, because this is the farthest that you're stretching your springs out so far. Here's 4. Squeeze your glutes to the top. Good. Pause and press and pause. One more. Now press it out again. We're going to trot. So our left heel is going to go over, our right knee is going to bend over the foot bar. Press everything up. As soon as both heels lift all the way, drive the right heel down, the left knee will bend. And up. And switch to drive the left heel under and lift. Drive the right heel under. Lift. And right heel. 2 more on each side. 1 more on each side, and then a double heel lower left. Now both heels under for 1, 2, 3, and both heels lift. 2, 3, and down. 2, 3. Try not to let your tailbone lift or your back arch as you lower and lift your heels. Here's 4. And here's 5. Now allow your heels to drop under the foot bar. Micro bend your knees. And then slowly resist the carriage into the bumper. Come up to sitting. We're going to change our springs over to 100 springs. On my machine, I use 1 medium, 1 light. My colors are one red, 1 blue. I don't use half springs. So we're going to come down onto our backs. We're going to lower the headrest. I'm going to rest my heels on top of the foot bar. I'm going to use my hamstrings immediately. I'm going to engage them to keep the carriage into the bumper tightly. I have my heels resting on top. I don't have them pressing in, right? We're going to be doing bridging. So I'm going to squeeze my legs together as much as I can, but your heels should be no wider than 6 bones distance apart. We're going to hinge bridge first in this position. We're going for 5 just straight hinge bridges. So I'm going to inhale, exhale, squeeze it up to a hinge bridge, driving my knees over the foot bar, and a hinge bridge down. So everything's going to touch at the same time. Now everything's going to lift at the same time as I drive my knees over the foot bar and lower. Exhale, lift. Don't allow your ribs to pop. Making sure your ribs are nice and tight and you're lifting your glutes, drawing your ribs to your hips. 2 more. Woo! My thighs are shaky and they're not enjoying being so close together. 1 more. Keep the carriage into the bumper. If your carriage is floating away from the bumper, try to use a little bit more hamstring. So now I'm going to come out to a wide Pilates V. My knees are tracking over my big toe. We're going to articulate up in the bridge for 5. So we're going to imprint the spine, tuck the tail, roll all the way up. Still keep that rib to hip connection, still lots of glutes. Now articulate back down. We're hitting all 3 spots that we hit at the beginning of class for that nice little warm up. But we're rolling up higher now, right? Here's 4. You shouldn't come up past platforming on your shoulder blades. You should keep a nice loose cervical spine. You should be able to look from side to side of your bridge. And lower down. Okay, bring your feet together in the center. Go ahead and squeeze them together. Have nice, soft, loose ankles. We're going to take our left leg and extend it over the foot bar, hovering, right? We're not resting it. Platform your arms down by your side. We're going into single leg footwork. So we're going to press out and lift our legs straight up in the air so it's a post. We don't want to tuck our tail or lift. We just want our legs straight up in the air at the very most like a post. And then we're going to bend our knee and resist the spring back in as our foot floats over the foot bar. We're reaching long for the wall in front of us. And lift and extend and lower. Now as I'm doing this, if you'd like a challenge, I'm pressing out to a high heel when my carriage is extended away from the bumper, And as it comes in, I'm relaxing my ankle. And then on this next one, stay out of the top. Now without lifting your hip from side to side, bring your leg across the body and away from the body. Don't let your hips float. Squeeze the glute on the leg on the foot bar a little bit more if you need some assistance. Now across and away. Across and away. Shoot energy out of that toe in the air and away. Back to center. Single leg circles. It's easier to keep both hips grounded if you keep more of an oval formation. So we're going to hit each of the positions that we hit on the lower left and the side to side. So you know how far your body can go without shifting. Reverse, inhale and exhale up. Inhale away. Go ahead and check out your ankle. Make sure it's not siggling to the side. Stay nice and firmly planted on that foot bar ankle. One more. And now, resist the carriage back in as your leg floats over the foot bar. Let's go ahead and switch. Left foot on, nice relaxed ankle. Extend your right leg over the foot bar, shooting energy out of it. Press the carriage away, extending the foot up straight up to the ceiling. Resist it back in. Now again, my ankle is relaxed at the foot bar when the carriage is in. As I press it out, I'm going to extend my ankle to a high heel, and I'm going to relax it back in. This is giving me a little bit more ankle work. Squeeze your glute at the top. It'll help ground you through that foot. Now stay out of the top. Now bring that leg across without lifting the hip and away without bringing the outside hip. And across and away. This leg moves a lot better than my other leg. There's always one, right? Really press through that leg. Now bring your leg back up to center and 5 circles. Across, down, to the side, and up. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Inhale. Make sure your ankle's not siggled on that left leg. Now, stop at the top and reverse. Inhale away and exhale across the body. Inhale away, exhale across. 3. Here's 4. And here is 5. Now, leg up to the top. Resist the carriage as you come back in and float that right leg across the foot bar. Place both feet on. Go ahead, scooch away from the shoulder block slightly. I'm going to rest my heels on top of the foot bar, so I'm not using it for anything. I'm going to place my hands in my short loops, and I'm going to pull down until my fingertips are over my sternum 12th rib. My trainer, Katie Rowley, this is one of her favorite moves to get people to engage underneath the arms to get out of their necks, right? So from here, my feet are just resting gently. They're not pressing into the foot bar. You can see when I lift my feet, my carriage doesn't move. Now we're going to march. I'm going to inhale, exhale, march my left leg up to tabletop, and lower the inhale, and exhale the right leg. And left leg. I'm squeezing my legs together. Right leg. One more. And left leg. And right leg. Keep your right leg there. Bring your left leg up to meet it. Flex your feet strongly. Stay in a nice tabletop position. Inhale. Exhale to curl up, reaching long for the foot bar. Hovering your hands off the mat. And lower. And inhale to lift. And exhale to lower. One more. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Keeping your hands over your sternum. Point your feet. We're going to do toe dips. Don't go like this at the knee. Keep the degree of bend behind your knee the same. And press your leg away. And lift. And now your right leg. Inhale. And exhale. Left leg. Squeeze under the arms. Nice long neck. Now, if you're looking for a challenge, press your legs a little further away from you and reach the foot over the foot bar. Now stop right there. Both legs. They might not go down as far. It's a lot heavier on your body. One more. Draw your legs back into tabletop. We're going to do 3 more curls. As we lift up, we're going to extend our legs to working level. On the third one, we're going to do our hundreds. Inhale, exhale to extend and curl up. Uncurl, bringing the fingers over the sternum, and lift, and lower. One more, and on this one, we're going into hundreds. Inhale, exhale to curl up. Lower your legs to working level, or lift your legs to your working level. Begin pumping. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Squeeze your glutes under your thighs. Keep a nice space between your chin and your chest, as if you're holding an apple or an orange. Draw your ribs to your hips and try to hollow out your lower belly. Squeeze under those arms like we were just doing for the curl up. Lower your legs a little bit. 2 more sets. 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw your knees into tabletop. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Peg your straps. Come up to the side. We're going to be doing some long stretch series, knee stretch series work. So if you need a pad for under your knees, please find one. Otherwise, we're going to keep the same string tension. One medium, one light. Tuck our toes. Press our heels against the shoulder blocks. Go ahead and hinge your hips back as if you're going to sit on your heels. Place your hands wide on the foot bar, pulling them apart to go ahead and widen flat your shoulder blades. Now hover your glutes off your heels. Round your back. Draw your ribs to your hips in a curl position. Look in at your thighs. Maintaining this round back position, press the carriage out and resist it back in. Don't let your shoulders come up to your ears. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We're gonna do 2 more. I'm sorry, we're gonna do 10. So 3 more. Now, stay here. Lift your head so that you have a straight line out through the tip top of your head through your tail. Don't sway out your low back. So keep a slight tuck in your low back and your abdominal to maintain a nice neutral spine, and then press out the neutral spine and pull back in. As you press out, you shouldn't sway your back. You want to keep that nice little tuck. It's a tiny micro tuck. 4. Press away from the carriage. Pull the foot bar apart so you can keep a nice wide back and you're not rounding into your upper back. Here's 9 and 10. Now come into the carriage. We're going to do down stretch before we do long stretch since we're already on our knees. So I'm going to press up and I'm going to come into a flat back position. I'm going to do a tiny chest lift. I'm going to maintain this position with a nice glute squeeze as I press the carriage back and I press myself up, opening up my chest. I'm opening up my chest to where the wall and the ceiling meet. Think of wearing a necklace and showing off your necklace. We're only doing 5 here. Lots of underarm work like we just worked on when we pulled our fingertips over our sternum in the curl up series. Sit back for a quick break. We're going in a long stretch with our heels against the shoulder blocks. So use your underarms or your lats to pull your shoulders over your wrists. Squeeze your glutes, tuck your tail slightly, and then straighten up to long stretch. From there, we're going to press back and resist the carriage to bring our shoulders over our wrists. And press it back and come back in. Here's 3. Here's 4. Don't forget to tuck that tail slightly so that you're not swaying out your low back. If you're feeling it in your low back, that could be the problem. Now, walk your feet to flat as you bring your carriage into the bumper. Depending on your height, you may not be able to start with your feet against the shoulder blocks, but I'm 5'6", I can walk my feet against the shoulder blocks. If you're much shorter, you might have to walk yourself forward a little bit. Go ahead and maintain weight behind the big toe, behind the baby toe, and through the heel equally. So don't lift your heels. From here, we're going to go into a round keep our ears between our biceps, looking in at our thighs, just like we did for a knee stretch here. We're gonna press back and resist it back in. We're gonna do 10 here too. As we pull it back in, imagine someone's punching you in the stomach, and so you round up even further. And embarrassing, exhale. 8, 9, and 10. Now, find a nice flat back position, still with a slight little tuck in your low back, and press it back and saw it under. 3. This should feel like a pretty big stretch down your hamstrings. And pull. 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 And pull. Good. From here, we're going to keep both hands on. Carefully step one foot off to the side, step the other foot off to the side. I'm changing my spring tension. I'm going to drop down with one light spring, or on my machine, that's one blue. We're going to come to straddling the machine at first. I'm going to sit at the front edge of my carriage. I'm going to sit up nice and tall. Again, I'm not swaying to my low back. I'm going to have a slight little itty bitty tuck so I can stack my shoulders over my hips. Press my heels of my hands into the foot bar, and then from there, I'm going to crease at my sternum, looking in at the springs, like a curl up. From there, we're going to come back in. I'm going to press in to my foot bar and lift my necklace, like we were just talking about down stretch, to where the wall and the ceiling meet, and press back out. And exhale the lift. Think of this like a baby seated cat and cow. Again, I got this from my trainer, Katie Rowley, too. I love these stretches. Now, come back to neutral. Make sure you have that nice neutral low back. I'm going to press my left hand, that's what it is. Lift my right hand bicep by my ear and reach over, pressing down, squeezing under my arm to the left side of the machine. Bring myself back up, right hand down, left hand up, and side bend to the right side. Keep that left hip or opposite hip down. Find some nice breath work here. After this, we're going to be doing some seated, well, we have a twist too. And then we're going to be doing some seated work facing the upright to the back of your machine. Now from here, I'm not going to crank my body around. I'm going to bring my right hand to the top of the left side of the foot bar. I'm going to bring my left hand back to either the carriage or the shoulder plug, and I'm going to rotate, trying to look back at that upright. I'm going to come back to center. I'm going to take my left hand to the top of the foot bar on the right side, my right hand to the carriage or the top of the shoulder plug, and rotate, trying to look back at that upright. When I do that, the twist is coming from my belly button up. I'm not lifting a hip to make it to this twist, to the right. Now, one more to each side. And the other direction. Now, come back to center. Carefully bring that foot around. Scooch back under carriage. Your headrest should still be down. We're going to place our feet, our legs long through the headrest. If your legs cannot sit side by side or they do not make it on your machine, go ahead and cross one ankle over the other. When we go from round back to flat back work, go ahead and flip the switch of your legs. I'm going to make sure I have a hand's width behind my tailbone. I'm going to work by placing the straps on my wrist like a bracelet and holding on to my tape part of my rope or the metal part gently. So you don't want to hang on for dear life. Imagine that you're holding something gross and stinky like a sock or a diaper, or if you'd like more of a challenge, hold on to those straps. From there, we're just going to round back, roll back 5 times. So I'm going to tuck my tail, roll back on the inhale, and exhale to roll forward. Articulate back, 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 and articulate up, 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 up to sitting up tall. Here's 3. We're going to 5, and on 5, we're going to gonna stay back and do bicep curls. Here's 4. So the hardest thing about the bicep curls here is maintaining the C-shaped curve and not swinging your carriage around. Maintaining control by not allowing slack to happen in your ropes. So bicep curl pumps towards your shoulders and release. You'll know because you'll get slack in your ropes if you're manhandling your machine. Here's 4, 5. We're gonna go to 10, 6, 7, 8. Shoot energy long at the toes. Now reach your arms long and articulate up. We're going to flip our palms so they're facing each other. We're going to do a rotational one-armed row from here. So sit up tall, inhale, exhale, roll back to a C-shaped curve. Now, just pull the right arm back and look over that right elbow. Come back to center and pull the left arm, look over the left elbow. Don't allow any slack to happen in the ropes until you pull with the other way. So you want to transfer the energy from one side to the other, making it as seamless as you possibly can. Don't lose your C-shaped curve. Don't go to a flat back. When we go to flat back, everybody wants to go to round back. When we're in a round back, everybody wants to go to flat back. Guys, we're going to articulate up. Here comes our flat back work. So if you want to switch the flip of your legs, here it is. From there, we're going to sit up tall. We're going to bring our arms to a 90-degree bend, and our palms are going to be flipped to face our face. From there, we're just going to flat back, hinge back, and sit back up. Shoot energy out of your toes so that your legs don't float out. Here's 3. So, in a minute, we're going to do some lower lifts back to the 90 degrees with the arm. I like to start with 5 lower and lifts, and then I like to go to 4 lower and lifts, 3, 2, and 1. Shake out your arms real fast so you get out of your neck. Come back to the 90 degrees. Flat back, hinge back. Now lower lift for 5. Maintaining the flat back. It doesn't feel real heavy yet. It will. And now lift back up. And hinge back, and here's 4. 3, belly button to spine, wrap your ribs. Nice long line from the tip top of your head up through your tail. And hinge back, and here's 3. 2, and 1. Hinge up, hinge back, and here's 2. And 1, hinge up, hinge back, here's 1, and up. Now, lower your arms down. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down, fingertips to the outside of the carriage. With our palms facing behind us, we're going to tweeze the bottom tips of our shoulder blades and pull back into a chest expansion type move. We have 5 of these. Here's 4. Wrap your ribs together so you're not flaring in your back or arching. Now, at the top, we're going to bring our hands back up with our palms facing each other. We're going to do T-pulls. At some point, you'll be able to transfer the weight of the strap to your thumb, as long as you hook your thumb around it, right? So we're going to pull, tweeze the bottom tips of our shoulder blades, and then come back. We're going to do 5 of these as well. If you're having trouble with these, feel free to go back to the chest expansion type movement. Now the reason we're only doing 5 is because we're going to stay out on this next one, and we're going to pulse back for 10, 9. Don't come forward, just go back a little bit further. Don't flare your ribs. Tweeze the bottom tips of your shoulder blades. Here's 2 and 1. Reach your arms in front of you. Go ahead and peg your straps real fast. Give your arms a shake. We're going to place our hands down by our hips. Scoot your booties close to the shoulder block. We don't want to be sitting directly on the shoulder block. We're going to be doing teaser from this position. I like to scoot back a little bit further, honestly. I'm going to take my hands, put my straps on like bracelets, choke up to my middle or my tape like stinky socks, or if you'd like more of a challenge, more like Matt, you can keep your hands on your short loops. I keep my straps pretty short, so I usually keep my hands on my short loops. From there, we're gonna tuck our tail and roll back. Make sure you keep your head lifted so that you're not dipping your hair into your springs. From here, I have my legs bent, my feet are on the headrest, my toes are hanging off. I'm gonna inhale, exhale, begin to articulate out and lift my legs up to teaser. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Begin to bend your knees to tabletop as you articulate down with control and place your feet back on the headrest. We're going to be doing 3 T-pulls in teaser next. It's more of just a fun challenge. It's not too serious, guys. We can laugh at ourselves if we fall out of it. I know I always do. And lift. Now, T-pull 1, T-pull 2. We're only going to 3. The trick is to maintain control, don't get slack in your ropes. Now, tuck your tail, roll back. 1 more with 3 leg lower lifts. That's it, guys. And then we're going to be doing feet and straps, okay? Lift it up. No, lower an inch, lift an inch on the exhale. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Bend your knees, articulate down. Now from here, articulate up to sitting. Peg your straps. We're going straight into footwork. So I'm gonna add that medium spring back on. So I have 1 medium, 1 light spring. On my machine, that's 1 red, 1 blue. Please find what works for you for footwork. You can raise your headrest if you'd like. We're gonna come onto our backs. I've located my straps. I'm gonna press that with 1 leg. I'm going to place 1 foot into the long loop, press that leg long. Other foot in the long loop, press it long. I'm going to come into a Pilates V and come into a frog. Do not tuck up in your frog. Make sure that wherever you stop, your tailbone is heavy. And press and release. Here's 2. 3. 4. 5. Now, press it out, point your feet, and open close. Here's 1. So wide, and squeeze. And 3, and squeeze. Here's 4. Try to keep your feet a little lower so you're really still getting some work here, right? Now, turn your feet to parallel, lift them up to the ceiling, like pose. Don't allow your tail to lift just yet. Flex your feet to lower, point your feet to lift. Again, make this work by lowering a little lower. So you really have to fight for that neutral spine. 3, we're only going to 5, and then we're going to do 5 leg circles in each direction. Guys, I know we haven't had a lot of time for modifications, so if you need any help, please feel free to email or reach out to me. Now we're going to open our legs to the side, swing them down and around in a circle, and float them back up through center. Don't let your heels double hit. So really use all of that control like we were talking about earlier with the straps. Here's 3. Here's 4. And here's 5. We're gonna reverse now. So go down through the center. Separate your feet and up wide to the side and back together. And down and separate and lift. Here's 3. And 4. One more. Now, keeping your feet up in the center, bring them to parallel, pull the straps down. Try to keep your tailbone down as much as you can. And now, bend your right knee and straighten. Bend your left knee and straighten. And right knee and left knee. The further, or the closer to your toes that you bring your straps, the more you'll feel the stretch down the backs of your legs. One more on each side. Bend your knees in, stretch your right foot long. Take your left foot out, peg that strap, Slowly bend that right knee until you can find the foot bar with your left foot. Take the strap off your right foot. Resist the spring tension into the bumper. Let's take a nice wide inhale. Guys, thank you so much for class. I know it went fast, but we're trying to get everything in so we can do everything else we need to do today. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know if you have any questions or need any modifications, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.